Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we're doing a review of the new fourth studio record from the Canadian alternative rock kind of country band. They're called the Strumbellas, and their new record is entitled Rattlesnake. Like I said before, this is the fourth studio album from the Canadian group. This is following up their last project, Hope, which dropped in 2016, an international success from the singles We Don't Know and Spirits. Lyrically, a very dark yet hopeful undertone to that album that really broke them into the mainstream, and I would say it's one of my favorite albums of this decade so far. So moving ahead with high expectations, the Strumbellas released the single Salvation in late 2018. This one is notable for being lyrically full of positive sentiments of living life to the fullest. It felt like the band was just trying to be genuinely optimistic, dancing in the clouds as Simon Ward expresses on the track. Musically, on the track Salvation, it has a bit of an alternative rock country tinge to it, as many of the tracks on Rattlesnake have. And it makes sense, the Strumbellas originally started as a country band in the early 2010s, so there's really no surprise that they've been rooted in that sound up until this point. Now to continue with Salvation, that is the opening track on here. I feel like it's dynamic, it's very fun, it kind of sets the optimistic mood for the entire album. The strummed and plucked guitar is the centerpiece around where all these other instruments kind of build. It includes the thumping drums, the rich tones from the keyboards, and I just feel like it's a perfect single and opener for the album that looks at kind of oblivious kind of happiness. From there, we transition into the track I'll Wait. This is one of my favorite tracks on the project. Has a bit more of this soft and sweet opening to the verse with strings. The group vocals are as anthemic as they have ever sounded, and then this track explodes with an inspirational and moving chorus. One of the band's best displays of a musical climax that I've heard in their entire discography. Then the second verse propels the uplifting energy forward with the echoed guitar, something very similar to what you'd hear on the track One More Light by Linkin Park. Then the bridge demonstrates one of the tightest group performances that I've heard from them. Lots of good chemistry between each of the band members. Moreover, the vocals also have some neat ornaments on them. We get some melisma, we get some vibrato, especially in the verse. The track is a highlight on the album. Then we move on to One Hand Up. This one kind of feels like a little bit of a misstep. Just the lyrics are a little too corny and a little cliched, a little run-of-the-mill too. The musical tone is very Strumbellas. Like, if you listen to a song, you'd be like, yep, that's the Strumbellas. I just feel like the band was kind of on autopilot with this one, and I would say it's my least favorite. But then we get like a strong bounce back on the next track, which is called Running Scared, the desert song. This was the second single released leading up to the project's drop date. This one was released back earlier in 2019. On here, I love the groovy bass and the pulsating kick drum paired with the tambourine and percussive shakers. The acoustic guitar shines on this track. I feel like if you want to listen to the best of the acoustic guitar, it would be on here. The chorus is also one of their catchiest that they've put to tape. The production is impeccable on this track. Everything is mixed with the right volume and everything gets their moment to shine, including the horns. Then on the next track, We All Need Someone. This one is a bit more cliched, again, kind of like One Hand Up. On here, the floor toms drive the song's energy. We get like something that sounds like an xylophone or a glockenspiel. I kind of get mixed up between the two, but there's a nice expansive touch to the instrumentation on here. The strings are kind of shoved to the back of the mix, and I feel like that's a little disappointing. They only get their moment to shine in the last 15 seconds of the track. Now, the vocals in the bridge during the instrumental break are captivating. However, the chorus is a little underwhelming, and even though it's still easy to sing along to at least. The next track, We Were Young, is also easy to sing along to. The lyrics are vowing to be all-inclusive, like the theme that has been running through much of this album. The chorus is yet again catchy. The production kind of reminds me of what was displayed on the song Wars from their previous album. I'm not super blown away by the track. I feel like the lyrics could have been made a bit more personal, and that's really my biggest gripe with this album. Just the broad and vague lyrics. But if that's my only real gripe with it, I feel like I can only dock so many points from them. From there, we get a song called The Party, which is another one of my favorites on here. This is notably the saddest song on the project. It's also the most contradicting in its sentiment. I'm confused with the ambiguity. It's hard to tell if the narrator is actually wanting to go to this party. On one hand, it sounds like he's wanting to go just to fit in with a crowd, but a part of him is also scared and really not wanting to open up and be vulnerable around other people. So he leans on this lover, and this person or feeling, whatever he's referring to, is giving him the confidence to go to this party and just be himself. And if that could be an introvert's best friend, sign me up. Musically, the bridge is the best part of the track for me personally. The melody is gorgeous and builds off the classic Strumbellas strings. The lyrics just dangle in the air, and they get caught up with the transient nature of life, and it's just beautiful. Now, closing out this project, we get another one of my favorites on here. I have said favorite a few times on here. I don't want to make it seem like this album is super amazing, but this last track is incredible. This one's called All My Life. The acoustic guitar and piano kick off the track. However, it's the vocal melodies that are the mainstay for this track, in my opinion. Simon's voice cries out to be heard by the lover that he is dedicating his life to, and it could be that same person that he was referring to on Salvation. Either way, it's a welcome closer to wrap up the album, and we finally get a snake reference that kind of calls to mind the title of the record. Overall, Rattlesnake is a solid entry into the band's discography. It really is a strong follow-up to Hope, which in my mind I still view as their magnum opus. But yeah, Rattlesnake is a strong follow-up. So with that all being said, I'm feeling an 8 out of 10 on this project. Now tell me what you thought of it. Sound off down below in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town, tell your friends about this video. Tell me what I should review next. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a rockin' day.